Hey, welcome to Butcher Bay Rejects. I'm Mark.
I'm Greg. How you doing, nerds?
How you doing this week, bud?
Pretty good, pretty good. A little Easter weekend, which has just passed because we record this on Friday. But looking forward to it anyway. Had a lot of fun. It was great. I ate some turkey and all the trimmings.
There you go. That's all you need.
Yep. Well, all I need is some TV. You ready to light this fire?
Oh, we got some good TV.
Yeah. We had episode 6 of Winning Time, The Rise of the Lakers Dynasty, episode called Memento Mori. Then we went into Wednesday night action of Survivor, season 42, 2 episodes actually. You Can't Hide on Survivor and The Devil You Do or The Devil You Don't. Followed that up with some Disney Plus Moon Knight, episode 3, episode called The Friendly Type. And Picard, season 2, episode 7, entitled Monsters. And then, of course, your favorite show, Halo, coming in with episode 4, Homecoming.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
For some reason, HBO Max released 2 episodes of Tokyo Vice. I Want It That Way. And boy, are we going to get into those song lyrics because I got some thoughts. And everybody pays. All right. So, Winning Time. So I'm glad to see that actually Jack McKinney didn't die from that. Because I assumed he did die when he, hit the pavement there on his bike.
We all kind of did.
Yeah, so he lived 40 years beyond that too, because I looked it up.
Okay.
But he was just he never fully recovered from that accident and was in no shape to coach like he had been. So
now is it just me or did they just not clean him up?
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Because it seemed like a few scenes,
blood smeared all over his face.
Yeah,
and
I said the same thing to myself. Because there were different scenes. I'm like, no, I'm not getting this wrong. Those were different scenes. Okay, and why is he still have blood on his face, caked? Yeah, no, said the same thing.
So
You're right.
Like 2 weeks later, they couldn't take a sponge to this guy.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, a little water, a little sponge, clean up. Let's make you pretty.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, Paul Westhead, his assistant coach, really wants him back because he's in absolutely no shape or mentally to take over the team.
I've never seen Shakespeare used like that before.
Yeah, oh boy, he was an English teacher, and did Jerry West cut him the dirty look at the press conference? Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah.
But at any rate, they don't really say who won that game, but I had to read up on it. Obviously, they did win because when Jack McKinney comes out of the coma, he's trying to coach him. He's like, we already did that game,
Yeah.
It's 2 weeks ago, but they did actually go on a bit of a winning streak. So I guess it worked out.
There was a bit of a turnaround on Kareem and Magic, where Kareem was like, hey, you didn't show up this time, for the team thing.
Well, let's get into that because the sneaker deal, this is all true. That fuzzy mop-haired guy, that was Phil Knight, the Knight guy. Now Phil Knight, the owner and founder of Nike, actually didn't happen during the NBA. He approached Magic Johnson right after he beat Larry Bird in university.
Right.
And he said, my company's 2 years old. I don't have any money, but I'll give you stock. And of course, that little calculation you saw, that's all true.
He would have regretted.
He would have got $5 billion today if he had done that instead of taking the $100,000 that Converse offered him and not putting his name on the shoe, but Nike said, I'll put your name on the shoe. And of course, what happened next? Michael Jordan got the sweet Nike.
Oh, no kidding.
So yes, $5 billion was calculated, and that's what he lost by,
I just like that scene. Yeah, he regretted it.
Yeah. Oh, but who knew, eh? I mean, this is the guy, Phil Knight made his shoes off of waffle iron, his wife's waffle iron in his garage. I mean, so yes, Converse was already established, right? Because of Dr. J and
right.
Top NBA players wearing them, but it was kind of actually, it hurt me to see that, and the vision, and employs his, now ex-girlfriend's father to run his business.
Well, I mean,
and break up with his girlfriends.
Yeah, that was funny.
Can you do it? Yeah.
You're supposed to give him the bad news, right?
I'll let her down easy.
Well, it just goes to show a little bit of the naivete of the time, right?
Yes.
Coming out of college and whatnot. Yeah, you're a big star, but you still don't know the way the world works. You cost
Yeah.
yourself billions of dollars. You're
Yeah.
you have no idea who to trust because you have no common sense whatsoever. So
he's made up for it and then some. Magic as a businessman.
oh, for sure. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
all of these experiences do forge a little bit more of a stronger, I guess you could say, business sense or sense overall. But I mean, back then, who knew, right? Nike,
Yeah.
really, Nike.
Well, exactly. Yeah, his company was only 2 years old, and no one knew it was going to become a $1 billion company,
Yeah,
multi-billion-dollar
exactly.
company.
Exactly. But,
Meanwhile, Jerry, Bus, and Frank are having their own problems with the Great Western Bank, who want them to pay off the balloon loan that they got. Well, he inherited from Jack Ken Cook, right?
Yeah.
So Jesse's brainstorm was to put the team in the name of his ex-wife and throw him off a bit.
yeah.
But
now we find out there was problems with his mom.
Yes, yeah, she's beginning to slip mentally, and she never actually submitted the transfer of ownership papers. He was like, "What is this? Oh my God, they got me!"
Well, that's the beauty of the show. It's like they're good at the ups and downs and twists, right? Like you're
Yep.
this did happen, this didn't happen. You want them to go your way, just get them laid. Yeah, we'll expect that in June. Like. Fuck.
Yeah, well, Jerry Buss, ever the gambler, he's like, he tells them, look, push the loan date back till we get to the finals, and then, then when I come in your office, you're going to be begging me for my business,
Yeah, no
like,
kidding. Hey, championships, we'll do that. And you notice Pat Riley's little bit of a. Do you almost think he was going to take over at that point when Marshmallow turned to him and said, "You want it?"
Well, yeah, they were watching game film in the office, right?
Yeah.
So, I'm still, resisting Googling to see how he makes the leap, because it's a pretty, he doesn't want it at all, and,
Well, I don't know if that he doesn't want it at all. I think it's more along the lines of he doesn't know that he wants it. I think with the fact that he's going to. I mean, he's been shooting all this game film. He's commentating. He's watching the players play, right? So he's getting a sense of what they're doing and how they're doing it. And obviously watching the other players play, the opposite teams play and whatnot, he's getting that insight as well. So I think pretty soon he's going to, he's going to make a suggestion. Everybody's going to look at him. Well, if you do this, and so and so is going to break this way, and it's going to have a turnaround that way, and next thing you know, you got two on the board. Really? Say, Pat, can you talk to him a little bit more about this? And away you go. I mean, does Westhead stay on as assistant coach when Riley takes over?
That I again resisted Googling. I don't want to get into it. I was happy watching the cameos. We finally got our Jack Nicholson cameo and Richard Pryor.
Yeah, Richard.
Who, interestingly, was played by actor Mike Epps, who was supposed to portray this comedian at least 2 other projects that never got off the ground. So it was pretty funny to see. Third time's the charm, right? That he actually got his chance to play Richard Pryor.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I was hoping for more Jack, but maybe we'll get that in another.
I'm pretty sure. Like when they were saying, floor seats and right next to celebrities. So Nicholson's got to come back and show it a little bit more. Of course, when Bus said he paid Nicholson for that endorsement.
Yeah.
No. Like I said, everything about this show keeps you on your toes, keeps you anticipating, wondering which way they're going to go, how they're going to do it. And it really, really plays off very well, keeping everyone engaged from one crisis to the next. Every subplot is engaging, which makes it so much more interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
From the relationship with his mom and his daughter to being in charge of the Lakers to the coaching to the players subplot, everything is interesting. So I'm looking forward to seeing many more seasons of this. It would really, really be cool if they can do the decade. That would be cool.
Oh yeah, for sure. It seems to be a ratings hit too, the show. So,
'cause, I mean, just imagine a little bit later, they get into the late '80s and Jordan shows up.
Yeah, I still want to go through the whole Larry Bird Magic rivalry in the NBA too.
Oh, for sure. But once you have that in full swing, you throw a little Jordan into the mix, and that's going to create a little bit of havoc too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You're gonna have to get an actor to play a young Rob Lowe too, because he famously followed the Lakers around, and not only that, Pat Riley banned him from like the hotel. Like he was on a podcast. He goes, "Wait a minute." He goes, "The Lakers were crazy partiers. They're saying you were banned from the hotel." He goes,
I mean, no kidding, right?
Yeah. No, Rob Lowe.
The little white guy amongst all the tall black guys.
Yeah. He's the troublemaker. That one. All right, ready for some Survivor?
Oh yeah.
I'd like, it was a 2-hour, but not much happened the first hour. I'd like to take it from, if you don't mind, from Roxroy, because since you didn't watch last season, they did this thing last season where Roxroy was given a chance to flip the game. Now, the girl who flipped it last game was the Canadian girl who eventually won. But I just want to point out, though, she only won because everyone hated the other guy that should have won, deserved to win. So the votes for her were votes for not that guy. But, like last season, he decided to flip it too, because why not, right? And so he flips it. They don't have to do the challenge. They don't go to tribal, and
Well, I mean, for him, it was a lot more self-preservation down the road, right? He was hoping that his flipping it, because a few people from his tribe were still there, not realizing that they really didn't care for him, but hoping this.
Tori really doesn't care for him.
No. But I mean, even the others were kind of like. But he's hoping that this gets him points, right?
Yeah.
So, and like as soon as I knew that was going to be the thing. I never looked it up. I just it's going to be the flip. They're going to go. The other side's going to have to fight for it, not these guys.
Yeah, and even now our big boy Jonathan is realizing, yes, he's a threat, because now you see they're starting to creep in every show now. Like, he's really strong, isn't he?
Well, you see, that's just it.
So they're he goes, we'd be stupid. The guy was right, and even Jonathan agreed, saying, yes, they should vote me off.
Oh, of course, he saw the writing on the wall. But what was funny was as soon as that flip happened and that immunity challenge happened. That's when the game really started, because everybody was just scrambling to put other people on the block.
And don't forget, these seasons are filmed back to back, so they haven't seen season 41. That's the beauty of it. That's why Jeff could do that.
Yeah, exactly.
They had no idea about this new twist to the game.
And going back to Roxroy, kudos to him. He's alone for 2 hours. He built himself a shelter. He got the fire going. He was like
Gilligan's Island there with the professor.
Exactly. So
made a radio out of coconuts.
You know what? I mean, I give this guy props, because I mean, shit. This was like isolation. No, a little bit of rice but he I'm gonna make the best of this. And next thing you know, he's got a shelter. Even Jeff was impressed. Jeff came in and like, wow, like. I've never seen this before. Someone take that that initiative to stay in the game like this, or make themselves comfortable. You're in isolation. Most people are depressed, going, "Oh, I can't take it by myself." This guy was like, "Look at this. I'm in Fiji." He's talking to the top of the mountain. He's watching the sunsets.
You're on one of the most beautiful places on Earth, on a deserted island. How many times in your life is that going to happen again? Never. So
exactly.
Enjoy it. Jesus.
Exactly. And so, I mean, he got his fire going. I'm like, brother, thumbs up. That's what I'd be doing. I'd have a treehouse. Give me 2 days. I'd have a treehouse ready, Yeah. Robinson Crusoe, here I come, come on. Why not? But, I think Jonathan felt a little bit of a sting not being able to win this one.
Well, yeah, like I said in early episodes, there is going to come a challenge. Like I said, a short woman with small feet. So Tori wins. That challenge definitely not made for him.
Like I'm wondering. The rule. Did he specify the rules that you have to hold on to the rope? Because I would have tied the rope around the barrel to keep it steady. Gone back and forth.
That one you do, but in past seasons, Jeff has always said, but he says if I don't say something, don't take that to mean you can't do it. So, that one, since I've seen this challenge numerous times, that one you do have to. But as you saw, it could have been anyone's game,
Oh yeah, well, how many people dropped?
Exactly, and that many times I would have given up after the third. Like, okay, that's it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Me off if you want.
Well, the one that dropped 3 times did get voted off.
Yeah, Lydia. Was it Lydia? Yeah.
Lydia, yeah.
Yeah.
And even High voted for her BFF. So it's like, ooh.
Well, yeah, it was interesting because Omar finally stepped up and was trying to manipulate and mastermind this whole thing.
He did one hell of a job.
Yeah. Well, no, maybe not Jonathan. Maybe he put it between Lydia and Tori. No, Tori was
Marianne.
Safe, but that's right, Marianne. Oh yeah.
But some of them knew that Marianne had an idol, so it was like.
Yeah, exactly.
But
and really they just want her gone because she's annoying. It's not like she's bad in challenges. It's like they can't handle.
Oh, no kidding.
And this is it. You're not eating. You're not sleeping. People are snapping. You don't want this person, this cheery. Like Motormouth won't shut up. They'd rather vote her off than the guy that might win it all, Jonathan.
But how about that reward, Applebee's?
Yeah, they even shipped in waiters too to serve it.
I mean, I don't know how many burgers I would have eaten at that point.
I definitely would have passed on the brownies. Of course, and thankfully what they don't show is them screaming, running to the tree, holding their butt because they haven't eaten solid food like that. I've read past accounts of survivors. Like I said, they only rent it. As soon as they immediately, everyone's scouring for a different coconut tree, like grasping onto some palm fronds and just giving it to them.
Asking the camera guy, a little Charmin, please, just a little Charmin.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's dollar store brand, anything.
Yeah.
Give me the call sheet. I don't care.
Of course, they're not allowed toilet paper. So Jesus,
I know.
Oh God.
That's where you go out into the ocean and just kind of like.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. That's why you never see them swimming, right, in there.
I go swim around a rock. Some of there just drop the drawers and let it go, and like, okay, this is biodegradable. Some fish will eat it.
Yeah, that's why that bull shark was yakking on the beach after. You guys are horrible.
Oh yeah.
All right, but I guess we got a 2-parter because of Easter. I'm guessing usually they don't do this so mid-season, but whatever. I guess.
Well, you know what? Honestly, I don't think they're in watching the whole thing. There really wasn't a point for them to break. They really. I think that it needed to be one continuous thing. Otherwise,
yeah.
What
it could be there. It could be a sporting event next week. I don't know about. Maybe they're getting
maybe
bumped or something. I can't recall,
but I mean, you could have the flip, and they probably could have cut it at the flip, and then next week you play the immunity. But I mean, everything just kind of like all happens at once, right? So it just felt like a natural cutting point.
Yeah, now they're merged, and now Jonathan has to win every single immunity challenge, which no one has ever done in 22 years. No, not one person has won them all. One guy just missed one, obviously the one he needed, but nobody has ever done it yet.
But I mean, they're scheming. Some of them were a little bit obvious, like when Chanel came and joined the group, and let's go fishing. Like.
Oh yeah, but your radar should have been going off there, Chanel. Like,
Yeah, no kidding.
and at one point, three of them didn't even try and cover. They were just like, you know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
awkward.
yeah.
Okay, guys, come on, you got to be better at lying.
But again, that was when they thought they had power, and when they didn't, whoops,
Yeah.
that kind of flips something hard, right?
Yep, it did.
So it's. I think Roxroy's got a lot of points right now to play with. You have to say, listen, I flipped it. You're still here because of me.
Yeah, well, like he said, it could bite him in the ass down the line, but we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, but this was a lot more entertaining this week just because of watching the scheming after the flip, right? I mean, the flip you could see coming, but it was just like all the running around afterwards, and it was just like, oh, this is cool. This is interesting. This is Survivor.
Yep. All right, you want to get in some Moon Knight?
Moon Knight.
Which is a little bittersweet because if you recall, Gaspar Ulliel, who played the antique dealer, he actually
Passed
died
away,
before the show in a skiing accident, hit another skier. So this episode was dedicated to him. So is and I think in the comics he's Mr. Midnight or some very obscure
Something
villain
like that,
too.
yeah.
But so the episode is a bit of a downer if you know that, because I thought he was really good in the role.
Very much
on
so.
top of that. But we find everyone in Egypt and opens up with I don't know, what'd you think of that rooftop knife fight scene?
My first thought was, Greg gets to see Mark Spector beat the shit out of somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't a flash to Steven going, what did I do? You know, and the guys are strewn around. You actually got to see it, and I was like,
yeah,
Greg will be happy with this.
Yeah, and even the main one too, when he was fighting the antique dealers.
Yeah.
Bodyguards, I guess you call them. Yeah, that was pretty impressive.
Yeah. Now, do you think there's a third personality floating around, or was it Khonshu?
I've heard. There's rumors. Yeah, I've been reading the reviews online. Yeah, people are just saying they've teased another personality. Yes.
Wasn't me. Was it you? It wasn't me. Who was it?
Yeah.
Now we need a third mirror to go, it was me.
Yeah. And we meet all the gods there too. I don't know if it was inside Giza because Steven said, "Oh, we're inside the pyramid." But we had the Avatar.
My guess it
Hathor
probably
and
was.
Salim and Osiris and whatnot. And,
yeah.
And then Harrow shows up. I guess they summoned him, but he appears and really the guy's just allowed to lie to you. And I was like, this seems pretty basic. Like he could just say, "Oh, is it against the law to play in the sand or whatever?"
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
What? You can okay. I guess they're not all knowing and all seeing. Gods.
Well, technically, has he done anything wrong?
No,
but that's just it, right? It's Khonshu that has the problem with him.
Yeah, but what's he doing in Egypt? He even told them he's going for the tomb of Mamit, right? So,
yeah.
And using his magic scarab compass, and it's a bit of Indiana Jones. I thought them trying to find they're digging in the wrong spot.
All you need is a sunset and a fedora. You're all good.
Yeah. So that fight, pretty violent spear. And thank God for the healing armor, right? Moon Knight's indestructible healing armor because wow, they were sticking him like Hugh Jackman.
I got it. You take it. You
take over. Look like a porcupine with all those spears sticking out of him.
No, like it's cool to see that Mark and Steven are trying to work in unison in order to. I mean, Mark's reluctant about it. Well, Steven's reluctant to give up because he wants to be in control, but Mark's reluctant because he needs to fight. But now they're kind of both seeing like both of them. They need each other in order to solve this riddle, this puzzle, this whole thing, and the whole. Let's turn the night sky backwards.
Yeah, I love that. I was just going to say that. He turns Khonshu, literally rewinds it back 6,000 years, so the stars will be in exactly the right place. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and then he gets locked
of course, yeah, when he said, well, if I do this, then, yeah, just try to...
Tell Mark to come save me.
Yeah, exactly.
But if Khonshu is locked away, does he still have the powers?
Well, that's the thing. He's in a very, very tiny statue right now, right? I mean, yeah, I don't know how that...
Well, those gods are fluid, right? You could put them almost anywhere. They're in amulets. Yeah. They're in little statues. I thought for a second once Harrow was holding the statue, he was going to smash it.
Yeah, me too. That would have been too easy,
You're
right?
Done.
Well, then they would have known, right? Oh, maybe he's not such a nice guy after all.
Well, I think if he breaks it, he probably releases Khonshu. So
yeah, there was a bit of online chatter about the kid. The teenager. He committed suicide. He wasn't killed by Moon Knight. He killed himself. But there was a bit of like, oh, that was the most gruesome death in the MCU. Like, well, hold on, he did it. He'd rather commit suicide than
gruesome death
answer
in the MCU.
To Moon Knight.
Well.
Yeah, well, no, I beg to differ, but no, thank God
considering Punisher wasn't in the MCU at the time.
Yeah, well, and then Khonshu was like, "Huh, I thought he would talk," because he was all like, "He'll talk," and then he kills himself. He's like, "Huh."
Yeah, I like that. He's just kind of like sitting casual. I thought,
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But I like that they're making Khonshu a character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A little bit of an ass, but still.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank God, he's becoming the comic relief. It's the idiot again.
No.
But we're I was just gonna say we're halfway through the run, right? There's only 3 left, so just when you really start liking it, you get it taken away from you.
Well, that just means they're going to ramp it up for the next 3 episodes because that's what Marvel does, right?
Yeah. I'm just hoping, but I think we officially got word there's not going to be a Hawkeye season 2. So.
Oh no.
No, I think I just read the article that they decided not to. Doesn't mean you can't do a Kate Bishop one, but there's not going to be a Hawkeye. So I don't know what their plans are. Well,
we'll see. I mean, there's plenty of MCU to play with, right? And especially if they're bringing in more Avengers and X-Men and the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, we still got She-Hulk coming out this year. They just haven't said when, and Ms. Marvel's coming out. So it's like they keep churning them out, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, there's always going to be a little bit of Marvel ready to go.
Yeah.
May not always be the Marvel you want, but once you see it, it's usually you didn't know you wanted it until you saw it.
Yep. All right, want to tackle some Picard? I think this episode was kind of like a bottle episode, which is the term they use in TV for when you don't have a lot of money. So you like in the famous Fly episode of Breaking Bad, you don't shoot many locations. You keep the crew to a minimum because basically this episode was trying to explore like unresolved trauma and repressed memories that Jean-Luc has held ever since he was a kid. So there was a lot focusing on that. So
well, I mean, it's a deep dive into Jean-Luc because I mean, you never really. Before this, you never really deep dived into him, and I mean, James Callis playing his father.
Yeah, did
cross it over?
Where do you know him from?
Two sci-fi.
What show is he on?
Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I never saw that.
You've never seen Battlestar Galactica?
No.
Oh,
I think I was away when it started.
God.
But he was good enough. I know he must come from somewhere. Like he was a good actor for sure.
That is going to be one you're going to have to go back and watch.
All right, but let's stick with
all
Picard.
4 seasons. Because not having seen Battlestar, that's like.
So he's kind of prompted to recall a childhood story about his mother, and we find out maybe the father wasn't the monster after all.
Well, he didn't realize that
own.
his mother had mental issues, right? He didn't know that,
exactly.
or he didn't realize that. And when he thought his father was the bad guy, he wasn't. He was just trying to take care of her the only way he knew how, and trying to protect him. But in order to protect him from her, he had to put her away. And he just didn't forgive him about that.
She was having too many manic episodes, and she had to be locked away. Yeah.
And you got to think that there's probably a lot of perspective, that kind of perspective when dealing with mental illness, where the children don't understand or they don't get it. Why is mommy being put away? Why is daddy doing that? And they think the other is the bad guy for pushing them away. And hey, it just goes to show Picard's not he's flawed. He's not flawless. He's not the shining star everyone thought him to be. He's got his issues. So it kind of humanizes him a lot more, even though he's synthetic.
Yeah.
He had to become synthetic in order to become human.
Yeah, and a strange twist, for some reason, we get Talon confessing to Picard that she is actually Romulan, and she's been concealing her true appearance this whole time. So, and then Picard's like, "Well, you might be an ancestor, Alara." So I don't know why he just didn't do this from the beginning, but whatever.
Well, I mean, as soon as she put on the thing that mind melds him or her to him, I mean, obviously it was a pointed ear. Like, come on.
Yeah. Which then, brings us to Teresa and her son, like, who witness this, and then Rios takes him aboard his spaceship, which was pretty funny. Yeah. Like, she just drops the glass after they beam away.
And one more callback to Voyage Home.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not from space. I only work in space.
I'm from Iowa.
Exactly. From Chile. I only work in space.
Yeah.
So
okay, let me ask you this: did you not when Jurati walks into the dive bar in that red dress, were you not begging for a Terminator 2 moment where she just kicks the spit out of everyone in there with the new Borg strength? Were you not hoping for that? Like, I was so let down.
Actually, when I saw that, I'm like, shit, Greg called it.
Instead, she just smashes the window. I know it's to get the endorphins, but I'm just saying, it would have been so cool. Or even like the amazing, River Tam fight in, Serenity,
Yeah.
You know her? I really don't. just kicks every guy's butt in the whole, I was hoping for a moment like that. I don't know. Maybe I hope they do something like that. That'd have been wasted. Like seeing that beautiful red dress and all pretty and prim Jurati and just leashing her in her Borg,
Well, that's just it. Like as soon as I saw her walk toward the dive bar, I'm like, shit, he called it. He actually called it.
Yeah, not bad for a non-Trekkie.
Yeah. So I mean, I was hoping there would be a little bit more of a bar scene. Even her flirting with everybody, or taking over the pool table or something like that, just kind of like, and then maybe getting into the bar fights. Like she takes the money, haha, I won, that kind of thing, and like, fuck you, bitch, whatever. A little bit more interaction, or even her getting back up on the stage and singing, right? Because that would have been like another rush for her. So, and then you got Raffi and Seven figuring out what happened and be like, shit, the more she does that, the more she takes over. We got to get her out.
Yeah.
And Jurati's in for a very boring life if she doesn't want the Borg Queen to take over.
Yeah, and Raffi and Seven also find out the Borg Queen compromised the systems, like the Serenus systems, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, Seven was able to decipher it and figure out what happened, but again, it was like I had called it before. She's trying to make the Borg collective in this time.
Yeah.
So it's like
21st century Earth.
So
And then we
Could
find
that
out,
be the event? Like
yeah, Picard's, because everyone has an iPhone, Picard's teleportation is caught on videotape security footage, and the FBI comes calling. All right, where'd you get that tech?
CCTV, closed circuit television.
That's right.
Yeah. And now, did you think that when he showed up, it wasn't Q, but another Q?
Actually, I thought it was Q in disguise, but I didn't. No, I would have thought just Q in disguise.
See, I would have thought it might have been another Q, and then
Picard
would have had to deal with two Qs.
I just wish I had more
insight as to why this Q is no longer queuing properly.
I just want more Q. I mean, I know he said he's in 8 episodes, but now I'm thinking, well, geez, if you're only in it for a minute or two, I just hope we see him near the end.
It.
You know,
minute or two, he's still in it.
But his scenes with Patrick Stewart are so good. I mean,
well, it can't always just be those two bantering.
Yeah. That's true.
But, I mean, in previous episodes where Q is involved, he's always sort of like either sitting on top of the bar, kind of like watching over, or, on top of the jukebox going, oh, which song are you going to pick, Jean-Luc? Like very, very overseeing and just kind of like, oh, let's throw a little monkey wrench into it, and snaps his fingers into something. So not doing that. Obviously, he's having his issues, so it's kind of. I'd like to see an episode as to what's going on Q's side as to why he's not. And I mean, you get a little bit of it when he's dealing with Sung, but a little bit more. You know what I mean?
All right, you want to stick with the sci-fi and do some Halo?
Halo.
So
hello.
So this episode, Homecoming, why? Well, we see that Master Chief goes back to his childhood home on the Aridus 2, and looking for the buried Forerunner artifact or whatever, somewhere buried near his old house.
Now, do you think that his parents were involved in a project about the Forerunner artifact, and that's kind of like
that's what I'm starting.
Gave him the insight to help build make the plants grow, and
starting to think now. Yeah, exactly. I wasn't before this episode, but yeah, now I'm like, and they're probably maybe not dead, maybe still alive, kept in some lab somewhere,
maybe
having to but by force, but not allowed to be free, but having to work on
Now let me ask you this: did you get a sense that Cortana is starting to feel for the Chief and what he's trying to go through?
No, not yet. You?
A little bit, just the way she's looking at him. Now, obviously, Cortana is an AI based on Halsey's brain, right? So at a certain point in time, Halsey does care about the Chief, even though her scientific aspect takes precedence. She still has that underlying caring for him. And I think that because Cortana's in Chief's head, that connection becomes a lot stronger. So I think Cortana's going to be more on Chief's side of helping him get where he needs to get, instead of Halsey's side of controlling him and keeping him from doing whatever. So I think there's definitely an interesting bond that's going to be created, because I mean, you see that in the game, and what I like about this show is that we're getting a lot more insight to the characters than you did in the, even though the cinematics were great in the game. Now we're deep diving into the characters and fleshing them out and bringing those a little bit more to the forefront, and I'm really, really, really liking it. I'm really, really liking how they're doing it and what they're doing. So, a lot of people are shitting on it, but I'm like, no. Look at the whole. Like, one of the things I've noticed is that everybody is shitting on the whole based on an individual episode. Like, look at it as a whole. Look at all the episodes together, then make your decision. That's all I'm saying on that subject.
Yeah, Well, I was hoping for a better moment, like when he finally regains all his memories and he realizes Halsey. I was hoping for a very slow motion turn, with his helmet on to look at her, but I was looking for that really impactful like moment, but not giving it away. There. Just like exactly, I was hoping for a little slow motion, like what's anything wrong, Master Chief, something like that, but. At any rate, I think the whole Quan, that storyline's trying to kill me now. Quan basically forces Soren to take her. Venture, of course, hires assassins. I mean, what were you thinking? Now, the Ant doesn't have money. The Ant gets killed. He loses his ship. Like, what the, I mean.
Well, I think there's going to be a call out to the Master Chief to come rescue them at a certain point.
Yeah, I not really don't care for that one. I do like the new, how what's it? Is it Kai?
Kai,
the female
yeah.
that dyed her hair red. I mean, I want more of her because that was pretty. She removed. Now, did she remove that on her own, or did someone tell?
I think she removed it on her own.
Oh, okay.
Because after they walked away, you see her back and she's got the Band-Aid on it, but she's cleaning her knife.
Yeah, but I thought I missed a scene, like, because, I mean, I know why Master Chief did it, but why did she decide to do it,
Well, I think for her, I think she's, she's following the Chief's lead, right?
Yeah.
So, the Chief's doing it, I want to see what he's doing. And then now, she's really delving into the experiences, and you can tell her speech pattern is changing compared to the other two. And when she's talking about the Covenant weapons and being enthralled by the stuff, makes me wonder, like, is this going to be too much for her? Is she gonna lose it at a certain point?
She has her favorite Covenant weapon, and she's pretty good at the lingo too.
Well, again, it was like Keyes had said, you guys spend more time with the Covenant than we do. You understand better their language, or I've heard their language much more often than we have. So to use them as, I guess you could say, a translation go-between makes so much more sense. But I think I think that's one of the things that's going to, I guess you could say, permeate as an issue, that a lot of the divisions don't talk to each other. Like Halsey and her Spartans don't talk to the other scientists and whatnot, like her daughter, who's working on artifacts. So they've got information to share, but they never do. And they're going to realize, this needs to change. So I think that's going to be a little bit of a thing, but no, I mean, every little bit, like Winning Time, every little bit of this kind of keeps you on the edge as to what's going to happen. And you're wondering, are they going to lose it? Are they going to go crazy? What's going to happen? So I'm kind of enthused. Even the Kai thing, I'm like, she's this for her is an utter deflation of what she knows. She's the resistance. There is no resistance. No, there has to be a resistance. No, there isn't. You're hanging on too tight. Let it go. So we shall see how that happens.
Yes, sir. We shall. All right. Let's get into the episode I've been dying to talk about, Tokyo Vice. I Want It That Way. I just want to preface this by saying I did the lip sync number I Want It That Way by the Backstreet Boys for 6 months in Paradise Island. That video currently has 3,700 views. No, at no time did I ever think those lyrics were referring to anal sex. Not once. Okay, now I know the song's open for interpretation because I did a deep dive on these lyrics, because I've never, I don't know about you, I've never once crossed my mind that I want it that way. That's what they meant. The writer of the song was Swedish, and even the Backstreet Boys said, "Oh, that guy could barely speak English, and some of the song doesn't make sense." But no, we never, But he goes, look, the song is whatever you want to think it is. But did you ever think that song was about that?
No.
I kind of lost that. Everyone in Japan knew that's what it was. And, the rest of the Western world did not. So I'm like, are they more advanced than us?
I got a good laugh out of it, but I mean,
yeah. Oh, and it's funny how they shit on NSYNC too.
Oh,
in
yeah.
The same episode.
What did he call NSYNC? Posers?
Oh God, no, it was something much worse than that. I just can't remember what he said. I'd have to retrieve it. Basically, yeah, it was something like that. Obviously, not complimentary.
Yeah, and then the two of them singing in the car.
Yeah.
Boys'
so
night out.
Yeah, he's pretty buddy with Sato. I mean, and Sato actually kind of gives him up, right? Because at the end of the last episode, he's kind of taken by force, and to meet the boss, and the boss wants to know who's the mole, who's been telling him, because the cops aren't drinking his tea. So we go through this whole thing, but with Ishida, right? So. But yeah, so he agrees to use his police connections, Jake, to track down the source of the rumor, and then.
Well, he's discovering how much of how woven in the Yakuza is into Japanese society, right? You can't make a move. You really can't without it tying to one thing or another, whether it's politics or what. Because I mean, again, it goes to like the Japanese government doesn't want anyone to know there's anything wrong with Japan. So there's no crime, there's no murder, there's no, yet they put a blanket over everything that does happen, especially in the journalistic side, where you have Jake kind of going, he's being very American about it, going, no, there's truth that needs to be found here.
Well, yeah, and the truth is he finds out these loan shark outfits are the ones responsible for death. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, in North America, I found this fascinating, in Japan, you can still get your life insurance if you kill yourself. I've always heard in North America, you don't. If you kill yourself, it's void, right?
In North America, yes. For the most part, most insurance, if you kill yourself, it voids your life insurance.
Isn't it strange in the suicide capital of the world, Japan, that it's still, and not only that, you can pay it out to a third party? Like, did you find that strange? That's crazy.
Well, you know what? It's realizing and discovering how different that culture is, especially with the rules and whatnot. We're so ingrained with our, I guess you could say, rules of fair play, right? Where it seems logical to not pay out a life insurance policy of someone who kills themselves, because it's basically them killing themselves so others can be, their family can be rich or be well off or whatever.
Yeah, and insurance companies, being the greedy bastards they are, obviously, it doesn't count. You killed yourself. We keep the money. We keep all your premium.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, okay, that's the way insurance works here. Insurance over there is working a hell of a lot different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I was very shocked to hear that.
that's basically, well, it's not necessarily the insurance company, it's the loan company that's getting them to sign the contract that says their life insurance is paid out to them.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a protection. It's not a protection racket, but it's still RICO. It's still very, very much that kind of a thing. And obviously in a society where you don't want to be shamed, you don't want to be that kind of a person, honor is everything. To not being able to pay your bill and whatnot, suicide is the, I guess you could say, honorable way to go. You're forfeiting yourself because you failed. So just taking a advantage of that aspect as downright just cold.
Yeah. Speaking of cold, we find out Samantha, who, in a bit of a flashback, she went to Japan under she was a Mormon with the Church of Latter-day Saints.
Missionary,
trying to teach
yeah.
English to Japanese, but by tricking them into the Mormon church. But at any rate, turns out she stole 40 million yen, not dollars. And they hired a Matsuo, the private, I guess he's a private investigator, to track her down. And turns out he doesn't even want money.
He wants something else.
He wants her, and he's not even taking her by force. He's like, basically, no, you're going to come to me. And of course, one of her friends that she confided in squealed to the boss. And then, of course, this set up Sato, like, and everybody pays, which was the name of that episode. So,
well, I mean,
you know,
that's probably something she would have had to have done anyway. I think she's smart enough to know how things work.
Yeah,
that,
exactly.
You know, she'll have to kick up something in order to operate safely. And, you know, it was interesting to see how she envisioned her club and how everything thing. And, you know, obviously that's the, I guess you could say, the American dream is to own your own place and be self-sufficient and all that sort of stuff and stand on your own 2 feet. But, I mean, this is, will her dream come true? Will it happen? You know what I mean? It's.
Let me ask you this. Do you think when you're watching a show, do you get the idea that Jake and Emmy, his boss, are going to be a thing, or am I just crazy?
Well, obviously she's not happy in her relationship.
No. Yeah, we also find out she's of Korean descent, not Japanese.
Yeah.
And her husband's Korean. So, yeah, I was just curious if you thought it was going that way.
I'm not sure. I don't get that vibe. I think he is kind of opening the doors she was never allowed to, especially being a woman and a foreigner. Him being a man and a foreigner, he's kind of stepping up and being a little bit more bravado. And actually getting the job done. Now, you also see that she has all the full support of her boss, right? He goes, that's why I hired you. Keep digging, keep going. So he's sort of a little bit more contemporary in that sense to push her to find it. And I think she's kind of using Jake to help go where she wanted to go in the first place. Versus her trying to do it on her own and getting shut down constantly. So I think he's sort of helping her as a stepping stone, but I don't see a romantic thing happening.
Oh, okay.
I think Jake's attracted to Samantha for obvious reasons.
Already slept with Sato, so I guess she's got a type.
Yeah. So,
and it ain't Jake. And then of course Jake.
Well, Jake got a hooker,
girl.
So.
Well, no, he didn't know she was until Sato paid for it. He's like, oh, damn it. And how about those rooms? Oh my God, that you could actually choose from.
I
They're
know.
like a myriad. Like, which one?
No, it's a whole different thing over there. So I mean, it's obviously something very interesting to explore, but you need to go explore with someone that knows.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you are going to be sitting on the sidewalk wondering, the fuck just happened?
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, it's and even the training session, where the what's his name, the younger police officer invites him to train at their dojo.
Dojo, yeah.
And he just Aikidos the hell out of him. You're very good.
He did.
So, I think in essence, Jake's journey is so interesting. It's so, because this is not this is not a culture that we see too much of. I mean, we've seen the glamorized version of it, Fast and the Furious or Black Rain or whatnot, but we never really get to see the nitty gritty of everything that goes on with it. So it's very, very interesting to watch. So I'm kind of like,
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get the book. I usually read over the summer. I think I'm gonna get, because that story is just, we see a lot about the the Westerner in Japan, but not the only man and in the history of Japan, to a foreigner to work for the that newspaper,
exactly,
right? So
exactly.
that's crazy.
So I mean, there's so much information to see, and so much probably a lot that we don't see going on in the background of this of all of this show, because I mean, he's dealing with his own shit with his family, right? Come home, come home, come home, and
using the
did you know who that actress
may or may
was?
not commit suicide to guilt him into it. No, what, the played his mom?
Yeah,
no.
She was the Ross's from Friends ex-wife's gay lover.
Oh, okay.
Like I thought, I saw when I first saw her, I know I'd seen that face, and at first I thought, is that Marissa Tomei? Like, she had a little bit of that, but then I'm like, no, and I looked it up and I was like, oh, it's her. Okay. Interesting. But no, definitely there so much happens in this show, and you just got to keep the subtitles on so you can just keep watching and reading, watch.
Yeah.
But I think everything just has so much in it, and it's all so well done. Even between the Jake and the older detective, right? At the end, when they say, go get drunk, you'll feel better tomorrow, and they puts his arm around, get off me, like,
yeah.
and they start laughing.
I was hoping that was ad-libbed.
But it's different, and it's different seeing the perspective changes too, right? Because when they finally get into the banker that's doing all this they find out that it's not just the insurance or the loan company, but the loan company is being directed to by a more legitimate company that's also run by the Yakuza rivals. Again, very intricate, right? When he's confronted, what does he do? He kills himself.
Yeah, I wonder if he signed his life over to them too.
Well, also the fact that and you saw the reaction. Jake was like, "Fuck! There goes our lead." Well, his Japanese counterpart was, "We caused this death." You know what I mean? So there's very much a different perspective, right?
Yeah, if they didn't investigate, he'd still be alive.
But then again, you also have to, at that point, I guess it's just a different mentality, perspective, in the sense of, well, no, the people that forced him to do this are responsible. We're trying to undo a wrong, but it's the people that are doing the wrong that forced this to happen. So it's just such a difference in perspective too. And like when we saw at the end of episode 4, I believe, when that detective, it's Sato and him are out to dinner, and they see the other Yakuza boss. And did you find that Jake really, really got really bold with him, and they were like, okay, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
But then he recognizes that the banker was with him. It's like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, as even Sato is like, don't look. And
don't look.
He like compliments him on his watch and like
he got in his face.
Yeah.
He was emboldened by something, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? You don't go up to a boss like that and just rifle at him, then give him your card? Like, whoa. I thought there was going to be repercussions after that, but he's definitely getting into the underworld, and I'm wondering if the underworld is using him because he's a gaijin, using him, they can't be blamed for stuff. You know what I mean? Kind of like the same way that Michael Douglas was used in Black Rain, right? I'm just a gaijin. You know? That was such a good movie. Such a good movie. But, no, thumbs up. Keep going. Everybody watch this because it's so worth it.
Yes. Even if they come out 2, 3, 4, 5 episodes at a time, just keep watching.
Next week we're going to get
HBO
2
Max.
episodes. You're going to get upset. And then,
Yeah. Well, next week, hopefully, we'll have some Batman movie review for you.
Yes, because
it's supposed to hit streaming.
That's hitting HBO Max, The Batman.
On April 18th. So hopefully, yes,
emo Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. We'll be able, if you haven't seen it yet, we'll be able to review it for you. Or if you can agree with our assessment of it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have already seen it, but I mean, it's we're gonna jump into it and see what's what. But...
It hasn't been broken down the way we break it down here on Butcher Bay.
Exactly. No one sees it the way we do. We like everything. We Kevin Smith this shit because Kevin Smith likes everything. No Mark Bernard in here.
That's right. Just 2 silent Bobs.
Actually, I watched their podcast the other day talking about Moon Knight, and Kevin Smith did his spiel, and Mark Bernard was started, and like at the end of it all, he was like, "But it was really good." And Kevin Smith, "You liked it? I thought you were gonna shit all over it." Those guys are funny, but not as funny as we are. Trust me. No, keep liking us. No. Follow us, please. No.
Hit that subscribe button.
Hit that subscribe button. Check out our animated versions on YouTube because we look silly and funny.
Yep. People always said we were cartoon characters brought to life.
That's true.
Here we are.
That's true. All right.
You want to wrap this puppy up?
Yes, sir, because we got some Fortnite to play.
Put a bow on it. well, that, and we've been talking more than an hour, but yeah, Fortnite.
We got things to do, people.
That's right.
Can't always just be fluttering to you. All right. You can catch us on social media. Search Butcher Bay Rejects on YouTube, on Twitter @BayRejects, on Facebook @Butcher Bay Rejects, as well as @Butcher Bay Rejects on TikTok. You can also find us on our website, butcherbayrejects.com. And we are on all your podcast platforms: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Alexa Tune In, Amazon Music, and Pandora. This has been Butcher Bay Rejects. I am Mark.
I'm Greg. See you next week, nerds.
Hope you guys had a great Easter. Ciao.
Bye.